This is episode 1 of Uncomfortable Conversations. You see the generation of our parents that watched the football they watched when they were younger was on black and white TV. At least I remember when my mommy was telling us some stories. You see that generation, they go hold that their Pele. I said, this is Uncomfortable Conversations episode 1. You see this hype that Pele is the greatest ever World Cup player. Come, France not just win this World Cup. France should not just win this World Cup. If not, we will open Pele's dictionary. We have to open that guy's dictionary. Because I don't want to really say Pele is a fraud. But I think, you see those 3 World Cups Pele won, it is overrating that guy's international career for Brazil. I'm not saying he was not good or he was not legendary. But the hype that guy has for those 3 World Cups that he won, in which he played with a very, very legendary Brazilian generation. Or do I say generations? Because the World Cup transcended, I think, 12 years, from 1958 to 1970. So he played with legendary Brazilian generations. Brazil won the World Cup in 1958, 1962, and 1970. So Pele, without those first Brazilian, especially the first 2 Brazilian World Cup victories in 1958 and 1962, those teams without Pele will win those World Cups. Because in 1958, Pele was just 17 years old. And it's not as if he was doing a carry job for Brazil. His influence in that World Cup was just like the influence for Mbappe in France in 2018. It's not as if Mbappe did any carry job. Mbappe just scored 2 goals against Argentina. I think he scored 1 goal in the final against Croatia when France already all but won that final. And I think he also had 1 other goal at a particular point because I know he had 4 goals in the 2018 World Cup. So you can't say Mbappe was the one carrying France. Without Mbappe, France could have won the 2018 World Cup. That was the same way in 1958. Without Pele, Brazil will win that World Cup. In 1962, that one was very, very clear. Pele was injured for most of the tournament and Brazil still won the 1962 World Cup. This was how Pele got 2 World Cups. The World Cup where Pele was actually the best Brazilian player was the 1970 World Cup, which was his last World Cup. That was where Pele actually carried Brazil officially. But the point I'm trying to make, in Pele's 3 victories, without him, 2 of those victories happened. Yes, this is Mbappe carrying France. Without Mbappe, France does not reach the 2022 World Cup final. Now, this is Mbappe again in 2026. Whatever France will achieve in this World Cup will be down to Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is already on 14 World Cup goals. 14! Messi, he just surpassed Messi. Messi was on 13. I said is that before the end of this World Cup tournament, I expect Kylian Mbappe to be the highest World Cup goal scorer generally. I'm expecting him to surpass Miroslav Klose, who is on 16 goals. He just surpassed Messi. How many World Cup goals do Pele have? Also 12. So Mbappe already cleared Pele's record in his 3rd World Cup. Mbappe is basically carrying France on his back with his goals. I know there were so many beautiful plays today, especially from Michael Olise. You see that guy that's Michael Olise? We will talk about him sometime later. This video is just about agenda. Ike agenda, what will push? I just they wait. Make you not be say Mbappe just they give me 4 play. This 4 play when Mbappe just give me, make him just they consistent with them throughout the World Cup. Uncomfortable conversations will be had. Mbappe is going to be the greatest World Cup player. Especially France goes ahead to win this World Cup. Because that will be 2 World Cup titles in his pocket, of which he has played 3 finals. And in 2 of those finals, right before our eyes, he carried France, which is the 2022 and this 2026, if they eventually reach the final and probably lift the cup. No be like Pele, where they count 3 World Cup for. And in 2 of the World Cups, if he didn't play, Brazil would eventually win it. Brazil had legendary players in those generations. The likes of Didi. Didi was the best player in the World Cup in 1958. Garrincha was the best player in the World Cup in 1962. There was also Zito. There was also Nilton Santos. Brazil also produced, was it not Jairzinho? There was also Jairzinho. I think that time was already in the 1974 World Cup, around that period. But what I'm trying to say is that you see the generation of Brazil in the late 1950s and the 1960s to the early 1970s. Brazil was a Brazil produced the best football talents all around the world. So all this hype that Pele is getting with the World Cup, make I never push this agenda yet. Make this agenda just cook finish.